a part of tradition to begin any program with an Indian national song, Vande Mataram, I request you all to give a standing posture for the Vande Mataram. Thank you. Please take the seat. Diwali, being the most important festival celebrated in India. Diwali not only in India but also is celebrated all over the world and is observed in many countries like Malaysia, Mauritius, Singapore, Sri Lanka, Trinidad and Tobago, Britain, Japan, Thailand and Australia. In NTHU, we successfully completed 5 years of Diwali. We started Diwali in the year 2007 from a very small auditorium, and now we are very glad to say that we are observing a very good number of participants also on stage and also in the audience. Diwali in NTHU has helped us to promote the cultural exchange between international and local students. As a result, we have a large number of local students and other international students coming here in the hall. It's our privilege to have the distinct chief guest with us. I would like to call upon the chief guest on the dais, and I request them to take the seat. First, I would like to invite Mr. Ramu Ambagani, the Deputy Director General, India Taipei Association, to come on the dais. I now request Professor Peng Dao Suen, Vice President of Global Strategy Development and Evaluation, to come on the dais. We have President of National Tsinghua University as our chief guest. So I request Professor Li J. Chen to come on the dais, and please kindly take the seat. Finally, I invite the most important person whom we connect with regularly in all activities, including this Diwali. He is the person who is actually responsible for us, who gives the true encouragement to make this event such a big event. I would like to call upon Professor Ping Chang Liu, Dean of General Student Affairs, National Tsinghua University, to come on the stage and take the chair. This year, being the 6th year of Diwali in NTHU, we have observed a great response from the local students that we see who are present in the hall. So I would like to briefly describe Diwali for the local students as well as the other international students who are there in the hall. Diwali is celebrated on the darkest day of in the month of November, that usually falls at the beginning of November. This year it will come on 13th November. So 13th November is the actual Diwali day, and we are celebrating 2 days prior to it. All over India, homes are decorated with lights and earthenware lamps. They are filled with oil and they are lightened up. The lights are kept overnight. These lamps are called as diyas. Diyas are actually lit in every house to banish the dark and welcome the good luck and good fortune. People wear new clothes and meet their friends and exchange, have food with them and exchange gifts with them. And there is a tradition of having rangoli patterns at the doorstep. In the evening, many people hold a small prayer that is called as puja in India. They honor Ganesh, the god of wisdom and god of luck, the one who removes all obstacles from life, and they worship Lakshmi, the goddess of prosperity and good fortune. Lights are being left all overnight so that Lakshmi feels welcome and she can enter happily in your house. I would like to request the dignitaries to lighten the lamp and mark the beginning of today's program. Thank you, Professor. So let's make a wish that this Diwali would be a memorable one. I now request Professor Soumere to come on the stage, who is actually the only Indian professor in National Tsinghua University, and he was recently awarded the Tao Yu Wu Memorial Award for National Science from National Science Council, which is granted to encourage the new researcher. So I request him to take on the stage and take the control of further program. Thank you.
Hello everybody. First of all, happy Diwali to everyone. It's wonderful to see you all here. I think Uttam has said it well. Diwali is a celebration of many things to many people. It is certainly the celebration of light over darkness, a celebration of knowledge over ignorance. So what better place to celebrate knowledge than at a university here? Today we're very happy to have our honored guests here. They have championed the growth of our international student body here and the growth of NTHU on the world stage. So please allow me today to introduce our special guests and to ask them to say a few words. First, I would like to introduce to you the president of NTHU, Professor Chen. He's had a long and illustrious career, and I can barely begin to summarize it here. He's started his career here at NTHU. He has served as a department chair, a dean of engineering, a vice chancellor of research and development for the university system of Taiwan, and a deputy minister at the National Science Council. He has won countless awards and honors from the National Science Council, from academic associations across several disciplines. He has been recognized and awarded by the Ministry of Education and by several foundations for research, science, and technology. Professor Chen has been the president of NTHU since 2010, and he has presided over NTHU's growing international recognition and its rapid internationalization of the student and faculty body. We are inspired by his accomplishments. We are grateful for his strong leadership at this critical point at NTHU's history. We're grateful for his support of our growing international body, and we're certainly honored by his attendance for our celebration of Diwali. Please join me in welcoming President Chen and asking him to share a few of his thoughts with us today.
Thank you, Professor Ray, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Happy Diwali Day. I understand Diwali is like Chinese New Year, the most important day of the year for many of you, and of course, it becomes very important for Tsinghua University. I believe we have such a crowd. There are many of you cannot fit into the room. So I believe not every one of you is working or studying at Tsinghua University. How many of you is from Tsinghua University? Please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. It's quite a large number of you, and Tsinghua University is blessed with the largest population of Indian students and postdocs in Taiwan. About 30 years ago, we occasionally saw a few, one or two Indian students studying from chemistry department. I came in late this evening because I was in an award ceremony in the chemistry department. And our chemistry department is #1 in Taiwan, #43 in the world. It's the only one in the top 100 in Taiwan. I think an important part is because we have many outstanding Indian students in the chemistry department. And over the years, the population of students and postdocs are getting larger and larger. And we have about 100 of you on campus. And as a result, we become the most important center, contact between the educational institution of India and Taiwan. So in the last year, we opened several Taiwan education centers in India. Only recently, I signed a document to open the fourth, and we will have many more to come. That signifies a new chapter for National Tsinghua University, and also for Taiwanese and Indian higher education institutions. And the Taiwan Education Center will not only serve Tsinghua University, it will serve all Taiwanese universities. So therefore, in the foreseeable future, we will see much more incoming Indian scholars in Taiwan. And we are very much delighted that Professor Ray, he was awarded one of the most prestigious research award for young faculties from National Science Council this year. And we hope we can get a lot more like you in the future. So many of you, if you complete your study, please consider to apply to work, to teach at Tsinghua University. And we are working with the India Representative Office. We will try to establish an India Research Center at Tsinghua University. And the Ministry of Education has been rather positive about the idea. So it's my hope that in the next Diwali celebration, we can also open this Indian Research Center. Last but not least, I hope every one of you and your family have good health, have a happy work, and also have a bright future. Thank you very much.
President Chen, if I could now ask our students to please come and present a token of our appreciation. Please. Thank you, President. And next, I would like to introduce our Senior Vice President of Global Strategy, Development and Evaluation, Professor Dashun Feng. Senior Vice President Feng holds a special place in our hearts of our student community. He was born in New Delhi. He has lived in Singapore. He has earned his university education in the United States. He has worked in the United Kingdom and many other countries. So whether we are Taiwanese or Indian or our foreign students here, I think we all like to claim he is one of us, right? Once again, our Senior Vice President has such an extensive list of accomplishments. He earned his PhD from the University of Minnesota. He performed his postdoctoral fellowships both in the UK and the US. He's a fellow of the American Physical Society. He has served as a faculty member and chair professor, vice president of research and development, and advisor across several universities in the US, China, and Malaysia. Somehow, he has managed to be a prolific researcher and publisher through all this. I'm not sure how he gets his sleep. I should mention that Senior Vice President Feng has been instrumental in the growing relationship between the academic bodies of Taiwan and India, which has required his tireless travel between our nations. I would like to give him a chance to elaborate on these efforts, so please join me in welcoming our Senior Vice President, Dashun Feng, to share his thoughts and feelings on the honor.
Good evening. I must say I'm a little bit disappointed. I have watched your Bollywood often, and and I've noticed how anxious and how much energy is in Bollywood dancing. But tonight, I sense that you're more like in a funeral than in a happy Diwali. So give me some energy. Treat it like a Bollywood singing. By the way, when I came 18 months ago, my boss, President Chen, told me that we have initiated a very special relationship with India. And I think because I was born in India, that's why he hired me. For no other reason. That was the only reason he wanted me here, because I was born in India. And he also said that, you know, we have had Indian relationship for a long time, but it wasn't because we had any real strategy in doing so. It happens that some of the faculty members in the chemistry department, which he mentioned earlier, some outstanding faculty members were good colleagues with Indian colleagues, and one thing led to another. Some of the students of their Indian colleagues would come here, either as postdocs or as graduate students. But there wasn't a serious project-based thinking. And what President Chen wanted is to transform our relationship with India from an episodal type of relationship to a project-based relationship that make it more than one dimension. We want more students here, we want more postdocs here, but that's no longer enough. We want to understand the Indian culture, we want to understand the Indian ways and means, we want to have a deep relationship with India so that we can also let India understand the long, profound cultural depth of the Chinese culture. And that's why it makes your presence here that important, because you will be absorbing not only the science and technology, but you will also be absorbing the cultural depth, deep cultural relationship that we have had maintained in Taiwan. And that, I think, will allow you to deal with your biggest neighbor. You know, there are only two large countries in the world, China and India. You put together, that's 40% of the world's population. 40%! And of course, the problem with India at the moment is you don't have enough people that truly understands Chinese culture and Chinese language. In fact, when we were visiting India, we were informed that there are literally only about 300 or 400 people that can understand Indian culture, the Chinese language and Chinese culture and the English language. When you have 1.26 billion people, in mathematics, that's called isomorphic with zero. And so therefore, your presence here is going to be that important. Your family's absorption of the Chinese culture, that will be that much more important. We hope that Tsinghua University can do this lead, and that's why, because I was born in India, so I accepted the job from President Chen. I think this is a very, very important part of Tsinghua University's global strategy in the 21st century. So, happy Deepavali. I always call it Deepavali. Why does it become Diwali? When did you change? When did you change it into Diwali and not Deepavali? Anyway, have a great time with this. I think, again, let's be Bollywood type of energy here.
Professor Fung, also I would like to ask our students to come and give you a token of their appreciation, please. Just as we are having trouble fitting all the people in this room, maybe we're having trouble writing Deepavali in full up here. So our next chief guest today is going to be the Deputy Director General of the India Taipei Association, Mr. Ramu Abagani. Let me just mention that the India Taipei Association was established in Taipei in 1995 to promote interactions between India and Taiwan in terms of business, tourism, and culture and research. I should mention that the India Taipei Association is led by Director General, Mr. Pradeep Kumar Rawat. Today, the India Taipei Association is represented here by Mr. Ramu Abagani, its Deputy Director General. Mr. Abagani is certainly no stranger to NTHU, and we have seen him at our activities before, and he's a welcome and friendly face on our campus. We're happy to say that Mr. Abagani's charge at ITA grows every year with our growing Indian student body, and we look forward to having him here as part of our family for a long time to come. Please join me in welcoming our chief guest, the Deputy Director General of the India Taipei Association, Mr. Ramu Abagani.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Diwali. I want you to continue the same energy what Professor Fun asked you to continue. But let me tell 2 points about this celebration. I wanted to tell you 2 points. One is what is Diwali and Deepavali. Diwali is Deep is one lamp. Avali is row. So Deep Avali is row of lamps. So it has become shortened form Diwali. So we celebrate by lighting not one lamp but many lamps, because in human being there are many qualities which we want them to come out. Somebody has a forbearance, somebody has knowledge, somebody has patience, somebody has intelligence. So these are the values which are inside us. So we want to enlighten them by lighting the many lamps. So that is the reason we celebrate Diwali. And I've seen many of our friends seeing the bindi on foreheads of the people sitting on the stage. So many people wonder why, what is this? This is the sign of enlightened soul. The person got enlightened. And the point we keep this bindi on our forehead is also to cool our head. Initially it started with sandalwood paste. This is the nerve center of the head. When it is cool, the head becomes cool. So initially it started with putting a sandalwood paste which cools the body. So these are the 2 things I wanted to tell, so you can keep in your mind and maybe retain to know about the Indian culture. And this is a day of celebration, and it is very glad to see that the friends from different cultures, different religions, different countries being here, because to celebration we need not get stuck to one religion or one country or one philosophy. So I wish all of you a happy Diwali and wish you to celebrate to full extent. Thank you very much.
Mr. Abagani, let me please ask our students to come and present a token of our appreciation. And I'd also like to introduce our last chief guest here, Professor Ping Chiang Liu, who is the Vice President of Student Affairs. As the Vice President of Student Affairs, he works directly with our students to help solve problems and to assist in individual and group crisis management. He has been an active part of our students' efforts. He has led international volunteer groups in missions abroad. Once again, on top of his demanding role, our Vice President of Student Affairs is an outstanding and prolific researcher and mentor himself. He serves as a professor at the Institute of Bioinformatics and Structural Biology at the Interdisciplinary Program of Life Science in the departments of medical science. I should mention he's also a board member and former chair of the Bioinformatics Society of Taiwan. As the Vice President of Student Affairs, he has been a visible champion of our international student body and joins us today to celebrate Diwali with us. So please join me in welcoming Professor Ping-Chiang Liu to share his thoughts about Diwali.
President Chen and everyone. It is my great honor to welcome all of you here in NTHU for 2012 Diwali, the Festival of Light. It is one of those great religious occasions which bear witness to the power of godness. It symbolizes the path from ignorance to knowledge by the movement from darkness to light. I know Diwali is a time to pray to the God for prosperity and success. The Indian student here has enjoyed a great success through its own effort. And we can see from last year, the year before last year, that's the only time I have attended Diwali. So this is the third time. And they put a lot of effort and give us a great show. And I think the attendees, the audience is much more year and year. And why I know that? Because the budget they request is increased year by year. So I know this year is bigger than last year. But my boss, President Chen, told me there is no limit for Diwali, as long as reasonable. And from the audience, I know it is reasonable, the budget you request. So there is no problem for you. So next year, okay, remember there is no limit. Happy Diwali.
So once again, can we just have a round of applause for our chief guests here who have come to champion our Diwali. And I would like to ask our students, Sagar Gowdy, to come and take over the ceremony now.
Hello. Good evening to all of you. As we come to close of this auspicious festival, Diwali 2012, it is my immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks on the behalf of all the dignitaries, NTHU family, and all the invitees in this memorable occasion. In the beginning of the ceremony, I express my sincere gratitude to Mr. Ramu Abbagani, Deputy Director General, India Taipei Association, for his kind acceptance to grace the occasion as the chief guest. Despite of his busy schedule, his presence today in this function has displayedly enhanced its importance. We are extremely grateful to you, sir, for your sincere address. We are deeply grateful to Professor Li Qian, President of NTHU, for his enormous cooperation in this organization and for being with us in this gracious occasion to make this event even more gracious. We are further thankful to Professor Feng Dahong, Vice President of Global Strategy, Development and Evaluation of NTHU, who has been taken keen interest in this program and has taken time out of his extremely busy schedule to attend this festival. At this point, we also would like to acknowledge our gratitude to Professor Wang Weichen, Dean of International Affairs of NTHU, for his great support and financial grant for this Diwali. I would like to take this opportunity to place on a record our hearty thanks to Professor Ping-Chiang Liu, Dean of General Student Affairs of NTHU, for constant encouragement and providing a feeling with at home away from home. Finally, I would like to express my gratitude towards the help and guidance for this Diwali to Professor Soumya Ray. My heartfelt gratitude goes to all our well-wishers and all who have come from here from different destinations to join us this celebration. Also my sincere thanks Taiwan India Education Center India, to all my friends, colleagues and my respected seniors and adorable juniors who have tirelessly worked for the success of this program. It was not one-man show, but the collective effort for all of us. To conclude, let me take the opportunity to felicitate those. Without their guidance, it would have been a great task for us to organize the event in a big manner. I request Director Chen to come on the stage and accept the token of appreciation from the hands of Professor Lee Chen, of President of NTHU. Happy Diwali, sir. I invite Ms. Julian to come on the stage and accept our regards from the hands of Mr. Ramu Apagani, Deputy Director General of India Taipei Association. Happy Diwali, Julian. I now invite Professor Feng Son, Vice President of Global Strategy Development and Evaluation of NTHU, to help us express our gratitude towards Catherine by felicitate her. I invite Professor Feng Hong. Happy Diwali, Catherine. Also, we would like to felicitate Professor Soumya Ray for his active participation. I would like to request Professor Ping Cheng Liu, Dean of General Student Affairs of NTHU, to be our helping hand in this regards. Once again, reiterate my sincere thanks to all. I request all of you come and join to touch the taste of Indian food. Before we head for a dinner, I would like to make some important announcements. Kindly show your food coupons personally at the counter. Please keep your entry pass safely with you and show it to enter in the hall after dinner. No entry without entry coupons. Kindly throw the garbage in dustbin, and our volunteer will guide you at the destination. So please enjoy the dinner. Once again, thank you very much and wish you a happy Diwali.
Let's take it.